When it comes to healing, all roads lead to safety and probably love. And I came to this realization as I've been working recently on this piece on overcoming addictions. That was also helpful for myself as I had struggled with alcohol for a lot of my 20s and trying to understand like the roots of it and how to overcome it. And also yesterday during my shroom experience, I realized that fundamentally it was about not feeling safe as a child when I was young, and my dad would come home drunk and never physically abusive, but just verbally uh, abusive, I guess. And obviously, I was scared and feeling helpless, and so I think that's and felt unsafe as a child. And I realized that before we take the shrooms, you need to fast, right? And when I did that and then had the shrooms, I could feel my body being very physically weak and almost like defenseless, even just on a 5-minute walk from the house to the beach, realizing that like I feel very, very physically weak and I wouldn't be able to like fight well or defend myself, even though there was no imminent threat. It was just this like natural defensive mechanism. And then realizing that, we are always in a perpetual state of vulnerability. Life is vulnerable. You never really, I mean, you can't protect yourself against everything and you never know what's going to happen. And so it's just one of those paradoxes of life of accepting that we can never be safe, but while also feeling safe, because those are two different things, right? And generating that sense of safety within instead of relying on external forces or circumstances to give us a sense of safety and security. And had a kind of brief discussion with my mother along these same lines too of, when we rely too much on external things to give us safety or security, whether it's, a specific job or finances or things like that. Not saying those aren't important, but, if we base our attachment on that, then when those things go away, then we feel lost. And what I mentioned in the fundamental framework is that the meta way to achieve safety and certainty in life is to gain competence and to basically find it within, regardless of what our external circumstances may be. And I know that's easier said than done. Um, and so today I want to talk a little bit about how to feel safe with ourselves. And so basically, this is rooted in, I guess, this transition from childhood to adulthood. When we're children, we have this need for attachment because we're not able to take care of ourselves. And if we aren't attached to a caregiver who will take care of us, like we will die as babies and children, young children. And so when our authenticity threatens our attachment relationships, we suppress our authenticity in order to stay attached. And this is what causes us to wear our masks, to, you know, to basically wound ourselves because we have to give up who we are in order to survive, basically. And then this becomes basically just our standard programming and our way of being until we grow up and we're at a place where, we no longer necessarily rely on that attachment for survival, but it's so ingrained that we forget we are authentically. And then maybe our attachment shifts from, our parents primarily, to friends, to a partner, to a job, to, your unit, whatever it is. And I talk about how, well, this it's not about addiction, but talk about how, where do I say that? PTSD a lot of times is rooted in that moral, uh, it's a moral injury because people choose attachment, whether it is to their life or, their unit or whatever, versus doing what they know deep down is the right thing, which I believe, like, morality is universal. And so it's naturally authentic to us. Um, so part of that transition from being a child to becoming an adult, a functional adult, is, you know, realizing that when you're a child, your attachment is what's most important. And when you're adult, your authenticity is what's most important. And you make that transition where, um, the priority changes. And that's, I think, when you become more of a functioning adult, is to choose your authenticity, to choose your morality, to choose your ethics, to choose what you know is the right thing to do, regardless of your attachments to, the opinions of others, to even your own life, right? And this is why we respect people who have convictions and who have a sense of ethics and morality that, is even more important to them than their own life. That there's things in life worth dying for, basically. And because to be authentic to them and to be who they truly are and do what they deeply feel is the right thing to do, that is more important to them than their attachment to their own life. Um, Again, easier said than done. And so some of the strategies to draw strength from within or safety from within is, I talk about some of that here. So obviously gaining competence, that's one thing. So as you go through challenges in life and, um, you overcome things, you gain more self-confidence and more faith in yourself. And so regardless of what happens externally, like, you know that everything's going to be okay. Spirituality also helps in that regard. Yoga is obviously a very popular practice that allows you to develop a deeper relationship with your body. You learn how, you are more in tune with your sensory system. You learn how to breathe more calmly, to pay attention to yourself, to see how different postures affect your body and along, etc. So that's why it's such a powerful practice for many people. Theater and movement is also a good one to feel safe in your body, because you can act out different energies or different characters, such as the warrior, the king, the archetypes, the magician, the lover, or any other character, so that you can feel in your body how you can affect your state, your mental or emotional state, just through acting out these archetypes and these characters that are, part of your biology, part of what's already inherent in you. Martial arts is also a really good one to give you confidence in maybe physical situations. Um, but it also, kind of like yoga, it gives you a deeper understanding of who you are, of your body, of what you can do, and also what you cannot do. It certainly gives you a lot of humility. And so, those are some different examples of practices that you can implement into your life to feel safe within your own body and to um, draw from that feeling within instead of relying on anything external. I think also for me, traveling is a good one to do that. So rather than feel that I have to be rooted in one location um, to to feel safe or to feel like home, I can go to different places and through who I am or um, what I've learned or even just like the energy that I can exude or the value that I can give and the support that I can provide people, even if it's just interesting conversation. Um, people value that, and I can find a community and build a community no matter where I go and speak the universal language of love and emotions and social intelligence and stuff I'm obviously still working on. But that was a big piece of what I realized from my shroom experience yesterday. So I just wanted to share that, and hopefully you got some value out of it.